finally done raining. It rained for about an hour. It's gonna rain a little bit later. Currently, I'm wearing these cheap Ozark Trail $40 boots. Kind of almost like, look like Timberlands, but they're not. I had another pair before this. They're not bad boots. Like, I had another pair of Ozark Trails before, and they lasted me like a year up until the insoles gave out on me. You know, I wore them all the time. They weren't bad boots. I got a pair of these, and they were good for a while up until the rubber outsole started coming up from the fake leather of the boot. And I went on and glued it back together, but the front of the insole on the inside of the boot kind of gave in or whatever, and it just made it uncomfortable. So plus, whenever I'd walk inside of the building where I'm staying at, they'd always squeak. I got really annoyed with that, so I went and got another pair because I needed some. And she got me a pair of these Skechers work boots. They're almost like sneakers, but they're not sneakers. They actually look like boots. It's like a hybrid. I have those, and then I have these. I haven't worn these to work yet, but I don't really need them to stay on my feet, if that makes sense. I just need them to be able to get past the general contractor or the GC, and then, because if you don't have your PPE on from your hard hat, which you have to have a specific hard hat now, you have to have that helmet con. You can't have with the chin strap. You can't have the old hard hats. You have to have your gloves. Even if you're not touching nothing sharp or nothing like that, you have to have your cut-resistant gloves, your safety glasses, your boots, your jeans, and your vest. If you don't have any of those things on, then you can kind of get bitched at by the GC if they catch you. But as I was saying, I'm really only out here in these because it's a bit wet since it just rained, and I don't feel like getting my feet wet in Crocs. And the tennis shoes that I have, they get wet enough, they'll eventually start soaking up water, so don't feel like dealing with that either. So I'm just wearing these. Like I said, they're a decent $40, or no, not 40, the $30 pair. The very first pair of boots that I actually got from Ozark Trail were only $20. That was only a couple years ago. The black pair was like a year ago, and that was like $20. These were $30. They're only from Walmart. Like I said, you get what you pay for. I know that. So, you know, if you like cheap boots, then go ahead. I mean, if you need something to get you by, these are soft toe, so they're not the steel toe type. But I never had any of the more expensive boots, or like Timberland or Red Wing, or what's the other ones? I don't even know. There's a whole bunch of other freaking brands out there that I never even had, because I never had to use them. That makes sense, like, because of my job doesn't require it. You know, I'm not on my feet all day. Yeah, there's been times where I have been and my feet were uncomfortable as hell, but I'm not on my feet, so I don't gotta really worry about standing on my feet and having my feet uncomfortable, so I don't really worry about it. But other than that, it's a nice day right now. It's about 7:30, and I'm just enjoying my last little bit of time out here with the dog, because we don't I only get to walk him out on the asphalt for longer walks whenever it's cooler, and since the rain cooled it down a little bit and he's able to walk on it, And, I'm touching it clearly. It's not hot. So I'm going to walk down here for a little bit. Come on, Rocky. And give him a nice little walk, because he deserves it. One thing that I didn't really like today at work, and I can't stand it's one of my biggest pet peeves, is when people I'm not talking about a boss. It's different for a boss. But people that aren't bosses, they're pretty much like on your level. They're just a regular employee. They try to sit there and tell you what to do and all that and get all pissed off whenever you don't listen to them. I'm looking at, because I didn't, it's not that I didn't listen to them. What happened today was I was waiting to get loaded, and he was in a rubber tire, some Mexican, I don't know his name, don't really care. And he was behind me, so I couldn't actually see the loader with his bucket up in there. And I couldn't back all the way down to where he was because that road isn't big enough for me to sit there and then, have another vehicle or piece of equipment go past me. So I was down a little bit, and he just comes up, kind of honks at me like in a pissed off way, and just like saying, you pretty much mouthing, you need to watch. And I'm like, I am watching. He's shaking his head, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. He said, go to work. I'm like, you're not my boss. I know I need to work. If I would have seen dude with his bucket up in there, I would have gone to him. But don't get all snappy with me. I'm just not that type of person. I'll listen if you're trying to get a hold of me and say, hey, we need you to do this or that. But you can tell that somebody's getting an attitude without them coming up to you, speaking to you automatically, if that makes sense. I've worked in this business for a good while now, and I've been able to sit there and kind of read facial expressions and how people move in their equipment and to say whether or not they're pissed off. And he wasn't a boss. He's just a freaking uppity Mexican that doesn't even know who the fuck I am. I mean, he does know me because of my dad's the boss, but still, it's just kind of annoying. Like I said, if you just come up to me with respect and actually are nice about it, then I don't really care. But if you come at me with attitude, I'm going to most likely come at you with attitude back. Well, not all the time, but a lot of times I do. Really all depends on how I'm feeling. If I'm in a good mood, it doesn't really matter. I could care less. I'm not going to have my mood all fucked up because of some dumb prick. I'm going to just deal with it. But if I'm already in a bad mood, it's given. But that's just me. I really never even gotten into it really much with anybody. The only time that I've ever gotten into it with somebody was, he was an older hoe operator. And I've always heard that he's had this really, what is it called? Light switch of a temper. And he's this older white guy, country, beard. And he never really liked me. I mean, he also never really liked anybody. So it's not just me. It's just the fact he doesn't really like anybody. And how can I put this? It was in the middle of the morning time, so it was still dark. And it was 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. So it was in the winter time. And I went past him on the right-hand side, and the boom is on his right-hand side, but I was farther out from where he actually was. For instance, if he would have stopped and swung his boom on his hoe around, he would have never touched me. But I go past him anyway, even though I know it wouldn't have mattered. I gave him enough clearance, and he sees who I am, and then he notices, and then once I go up to the hill to get loaded, he comes up to me starting to bitch, and I'm like, it's early ass in the morning, and he tries to come up into my cab. I'm like, dude, get the hell out of my cab. Like, the fuck? You're not gonna talk to me like this. He started talking to me like he's my daddy. I'm like, nah, dude. Like, go. We're gonna have some problems. And he pretty much settled down from there. I mean, he's just a retard. I didn't really deal with him much after that because I kind of tried to avoid anything dealing with him because I didn't feel like dealing with this crap. So, I'm in my mid-20s at this time, and he's in his 50s. I remember one time, I thought it was hilarious. He left the job because he was that type of operator that didn't like to load trucks or have a whole bunch of trucks on them. And we had like 10 trucks at this job at this point because we were working a lot and there's a lot of dirt to be moved. There's like 3 or 4 hoes, and like I said, at this time I was trying to avoid him because I didn't want to deal with the shit. So I avoided him, and every other truck eventually just stopped going to him because he started bitching. And then eventually he would hold his bucket up in the air waiting to load somebody, and then he noticed nobody's coming to him, and he got all pissed off, and then he left. Come to find out, he got mad because nobody was coming to him. I'm like, dude, how can you get mad at somebody for not coming to you and whatnot if you don't like loading trucks? You know what I mean? But now he's on a GPS. I think it's the Komatsu 51 PXI. It's not the 61 PXI. It's like the smaller one. I think it's 51 PXI. It's not new, but it's newer. So he's just a finish dozer, so you don't really see him much. You only see him every now and again, whenever he's on your job trying to do a little finishing job, and that's it.